Test, test, test. Hello, good evening. We're going to be live in just a second. Let's fire the updates. Ooh, hang on. We are, of all things, logged into the wrong Twitter account. Dun dun dun. We cannot have that. That is no good. It's not what we're looking for. Oh, we're not looking for Hunger Games Mockingjay either. Right, I'm just going to tweet. We're going to go straight live and get cracking. No rest for the wicked. Okay, right, ready to roll. We are all well and good. Hope you are well this evening. We have a guest. We have Shep on Dogcam for as long as he decides to bless us with his presence. So I'm just going to quickly set up my scenes so we're all well and good to go. Let's also grab in our little camera while we can. There he is! Yay! Woo! There he is in all his glory. Okay. Gonna do an intro and then we're just gonna go live straight up. Evening Thresh, we're just going to kick straight on in. Good evening, welcome to tonight's Hearthstone Hour it will be. I'm Hammy, this is FailCraft Casts, hope everyone good. It is Tuesday, it's Arena Tuesday, and oh, we've got a special guest. There he is. Shep is with us for as long as he deems to bless us with his presence. So, it's Arena Tuesday, we're doing Pick Your Own Arena, and as always, we follow our fabric and our format. We will jump in. The deck that you have picked is Rogue tonight, as you can see. We will pick a Rogue together, we will follow 3 basic principles to get you newer players kicked off in Arena, and then you can graduate after you've got into it and learned it, and you can progress to all of the wonderful professional streams out there. So Rogue, let us jump on into game, and we also have Shep starring. He's a little bit spooked today. And a welcome to Thresh, a welcome to Lud, and a bunch of people who are joining us live on twitch.tv/FailCraftCasts. So let us get this show on the road. Arenaing and on Twitter at FailCraftCasts, you folks every Tuesday vote for which hero you want, and Valera Sanguinar, the very rogue itself, has kicked off, and oh, what a start we have. There we go, and that is such a fabulous start. So while I know that some of the folks joining us live in the chat will be in ecstasy over this early game pick, we will quickly outline the format of what we are up to. So let us jump on in. So what do? We abide by 3 simple rules when we're drafting our deck together. You guys pick the deck. You can pick nice, you can pick nasty. Whether you're feeling in a fun mood or a serious mood, we go with what you pick. If there is a deciding vote to be made, then I get streamer's choice, and I get to decide if there are even numbers of things going on. And then, what are the 3 rules we play by? Well, rule number 1, we pick 3 review points for our deck and we review it often. So let's go for 8 cards, 16 cards and 24 cards, let's say, out of the total of 30. The reason for that is because we can really get stuck in and make sure that we're regularly revising what our deck has inside. And if we do that, then we can make sure that we're building towards a strategy or tweaking it as we want. So that's rule number 1, review the deck regularly. Rule number 2 is look at the mana curve and the minions against spells composition. Those 2 are to give you an idea of what kind of deck it might be in terms of playstyle. So the mana curve, if you've got loads of early game cards, you might be rushing. Loads of 8 game cards, maybe you're trying to control or similar. So a rough indicator can be got by regularly reviewing and looking at mana curve, and then also looking at spells against minions. Do you have loads of spells? Maybe you're having a big spell throwing style. Lots of minions, maybe you're trying to rush, trade, and similar. So again, just a rough idea of where your deck is. Rule number 3. Rule number 333 is we then, when we've reviewed, when we've looked at mana curve and minions against spells, we then just roughly play through the deck in our heads turn by turn to get an idea of what we play and when. And by doing those 3 steps, at each point that we review, we get an idea of what our deck is doing, what it looks like, how it might work if we were playing it in a real situation. So that means that at each of those 3 review points we can tweak, work out how our deck is going to work, and then we can help pick better cards because of it, and that is the key reason for all these reviews and for trying to slow yourself down a bit. So let us get stuck in. Okay. What is it going to be? Legendary card start. We see some votes for Edwin. We talk through the cards as we go. Edwin Van Cleef, 2/2 for each card played earlier this turn. Wonderful comboing. You can play, if you play cheap cards, Edwin becomes big and bad and scary quickly. Gruul. At the end of each turn, gain 1/1. If we can get to Gruul, then he becomes a big, nasty threat. And then Deathwing, a favourite of Lud indeed. Destroy other minions and discard your hand. A hilariously fun card if you can play for it. And we look as though we are going for good evening to Nooska as well. Hope you're well. Looks like the vote goes with Edwin. Nice start there. Next we have a Shadow Step, a Southsea Deckhand, or a Vanish. A long time since we played Rogue. So Rogue, of course, remember our hero power is grab a 1/1 weapon for 2 mana. We can swing weapons and do some damage. Shadow Step, returning a friendly minion to your hand that it costs 2 less. Well, that's an effective heal. We can double up on charge cards, we can double up on Battlecry cards. Shadow Step is in Miracle Rogue for a reason, and it will also trigger our Edwin Van Cleef as well. So, next, Southsea Deckhand. Charge will have a weapon equipped. We will have weapons. It's not going to do huge amounts of damage, but might be handy. Last but not least, Vanish. Return all minions to their owner's hand. Well, that's a very, very quick table clear for us. It's really strong control. Of course, it's going to get rid of our own minions, but it's also going to get rid of the opponents. So if we throw that out in the late game, it can be reasonable. It can be reasonable, particularly in Arena. So the question is, are you going to go for the acceleration and power of Shadow Step, or one of the other options? Good boy. Okay, so we have, it looks like, a little bit of Shadow Step, a little bit of Vanish. What do you be fancying? Voting for Vanish, Lud. What are you going for? What are you folks going for? And welcome to Chris Cat as well. Okay. Thresh is making a passionate case for Shadow Step. We're going to appeal to perhaps seeing if there's going to be a decisive intervention here. If you're watching, welcome to those of you watching but not signed into Twitch as well. You should sign in, get your votes in as well. At the moment, the diplomatic democratic choice. I meant democratic. Looks like it's going to be a Varnish. Varnish it is. Bosh. Next we're going to go for a Shiv, a Senjin, or an Assassinate. So Shiv, deal 1, draw a card. Nice, goes with Edwin, lets us draw, could pick off small minions, all well and good. The Senjin Shieldmaster, just such a solid tanky 20 card for its cost. It will pin the table. And then 5 mana Assassinate, destroy an enemy minion. Cost high, but utility excellent. If we have to pay that to remove a big nasty threat from the table, we're talking legendaries, we're talking anything ideally that's more than 5 mana to try and keep the balance of the force. So at Mo, we'll do our first deck review at 8 cards. We'll just get our first cards picked and then work out where we are going from here. So, a little bit early to be picking cards based on the cards that we have. Thresh did make a good point last turn. A Shadow Step would have been a good synergy for Edward and also a Gadget Zan as well. True, okay, not need as much. Thresh makes a very good point that Shiv is an option. As we have an Assassinate, a Vanish, maybe we don't need Assassinate. Perhaps a Senjin, well, because that is and good evening to you, you Shiv, Senjin, Shieldmaster, or Assassinate. Let's get you new folks voting and voting and voting. getting stuck in. And hey, see Vizzy. I think it's the first time I've seen you. Welcome. Hope you're well and good. So we got Senjin. Got a Assassinate vote there as well. We've also got a little vote coming in for Shiv too. Assassinate, okay. The Assassinate's coming in. Nuska and PG coming in for a decisive choice of Assassinate. Next we've got a Jungle Panther. A Razor Fen Hunter. Oh, a Deadly Poison. The Jungle Panther for stealth, 4 attack, 2 health. Will probably die when it gets unstealthed, but it will do 4 damage to something unless there's some nasty area damage going down. So we also have a Razorfin Hunter. It's a 2-for-1. Battlecry of summoning a 1/1 war, 2 attack and 3 health. Well, it's a 2-for-1. We will be able to have 2 value for the price of 1. Always not bad in Arena, and giving ourselves some more low play cards might be handy. Last but not least, the Deadly Poison, giving a weapon plus 2 attack. Well, going from a 1 attack weapon to 3 attack weapon after our hero power for that 1 mana is never bad. What are people saying? We have poisons coming in. Thresh makes the point, if we have too many high cost cards we're going to have a bad time. I would genuinely agree with that. You get away with the high cost cards if you have the lower cost cards to keep you alive until you can play those high cost cards in Arena a little bit more pertinent, because you can't control your deck engine, as it were, your card draw and similar. So we have, what do we have? We have some Panthers, we have a Razorfane, we have a couple of poisons, we have a split vote. Some say Panther, others say Poison. I'm actually going to go on this occasion, because we have a little split straight down the middle, I'm going to be going with Poison. The reason for that, I'd like some more early game options, I feel. Next we've got a Dark Scale Hunter, we've got an Assassin's Blade, ooh, and then also a Shadow Step. So the Dark Scale Healer, not Hunter. Battlecry of restoring 2 health to all friendly characters. Well, it heals the 4 attack and 5 health. Not too bad. The 4 attack 5 health will let us trade some minions and get things off the table. I don't know if you can hear the dog snoring. He's having a good snore there. Been a little bit highly strung today, running around like a crazy thing, so got him upstairs with me while my wiser half relaxes with some telly. So Assassin's Blade, well, 3 attack, 4 health, 4 durability, sorry, not health. That is really going to help us swing. And then the very nice point as well Thresh makes, with the blade could combine very well with our Deadly Poison for a cool 20 damage. Makes it very, very nasty indeed. But even with just the 3 attack and 4 durability, that will help us swing through so many minions on the table. It may well even set us up a nice weapons rogue. We could then do perhaps with some heals to top our rogue's health back up, our hero's health back up. Entirely up to use. And then a Shadow Step. We've already rejected one, interestingly. Do you want to be going for one of those? Shadow Step has already been very well mentioned, goes well with Van Cleef and could potentially combo into other cards. But it looks like, oh, we have, I see 2 blades, I see 2 steps, 3 blades. They're going to be a little decider there. I see the Shadow Step could be so handy, but it looks like diplomatically, and welcome Zano. Are you going to be taking a little bit of a look at similar? So at the moment we're with Blade. Your Blade running above your Shadow Step. Going for the high value cards. Okay. Going for the Blade. Oh, next. Cold Light Oracle, Mana Wraith, or Conditions Blade. Oh, Kiski. Tad too late. That would have evened it all up for the step. So the Cold Light Oracle, with a battle cry of each player drawing 2 cards. Risky. While it will accelerate us, also accelerates our opponent. Next up, Mana Wraith, all minions costing 1 more. Okay, well, it's something to throw down in the early game. I'm not entirely sure how much use we're going to get from it. You might fancy it. Last but not least, a Perdition's Blade. The battle cry of dealing 1, but if we're comboing it after something else, we then deal 2. So that is a nice bit of damage, and you can probably easily throw it down. It will also combo very, very nicely with let's not forget the deadly poison. We can do a 5-2 with that as well, and it's looking like a general vote for Blade is coming through there. I'm going to grab that. Next we've got a 9-beak owl, a shiv, and a silverback patriarch. The owl, you throw it down, it silences. It's going to be zapping nasty things from our opponent out of the way. Can be dropped at any time in the game. Of course, you're not really attacking with an owl. It's our silence in the late game. With a shiv, deal 1 damage to a card. You've rejected one. Do we want to grab another? We really need card draw. Ooh, an owl. Nuska, a fan of silences, the tactical silence. And last but not least, the Silverback Patriarch. 3 mana, low attack, high health. A bit of a taunt that may slightly stabilise your early game. It's okay, I think is the best way of describing it. It's not awful, it's not wonderful. And welcome to you new joining folks. You find us in the midst of our Rogue Pick Your Own Arena. Do sign into Twitch and get your votes in. The Shadow Step Cold Light Oracle combo would have been 6, says CVizzy. It absolutely would have been very, very nice. CVizzy making the point that we could Shadow Step an Owl, the Oracle, to draw 4 cards. We could force our opponent to discard. There are some nice things you can do with that. So we can see Shiv, 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 Shiv. Oh, Shiv. There is a definite Shiv vote for card draw. Alrighty then, we're almost to our first review point. And a Shiv from CVZ, finish that. Oh, the Corehound, the Spectral Knight, and the Zombie Chow. So, Corehound, 9 attack, 5 health. Low health will probably get destroyed. If survives, 9 attack, hits like a train. But for the 7 mana, health is a bit low, vulnerable to removal. Could be good. Do you fancy it? Spectral Knight, the big brother of the Fairy Dragon, for 4 attack and 6 health, cannot be targeted by spells. Hero powers damage him not. He just stands there like a boss with his sword and swings into everything until he gets wrecked himself. Last but not least, Zombie Chow. Brill for grabbing control in the early game. Use it to trade minions. Do not use it to attack to the face, because that death rattle will restore 5 to your enemy hero. We can see some Spectral, this general Spectral love. Spectral Knight, I love it in Arena, says CVizzy. Chow is fairly terrible, says PG. I disagree. Chow has use, but not the way I tend to play it, when I just hit people in the face with it. If you can use it to... Chow is terrible late game. Generally, yes. Oh, much Chow. Wow. Wow, Chow. Okay, next we have a Mogushan Warden, a fan of knives and sap. So I'm going to quickly describe those, and then we'll do our brief 3 rules deck review, because we've got to 8 cards. Mogushan Warden, 1 attack, 7 health, massive early mid tank, will slow down your opponent while they find removal. Knives, 1 damage to all minions, draw a card. Nice. Triggers Van Cleef, gives card draw, good against aggro. Some uses there. Then finally a sap. Wonderful control, 2 mana, great value. Remove big cards, not a bad choice. So between those, we're just going to do our deck review. 3 rules. Rule number 1, review often. We're reviewing. Rule number 2, look at mana curve and spells against minions. We've got a fairly even distribution with a bit of 5 and 6. So at the moment, no real shape to this deck, bar its early to mid game. Quite a few 5s and 6s, we'll see what they are. Let's then take a look at spells against minions. Deadly Poison, Shiv, Blade, Assassinate, Vanish. We actually only have 2 minions in Van Cleef and Spectral Knight, and then the rest being spells and weapons, kind of expected with a rogue. So at the moment, what are we doing each turn? We've got Shivs, we've got weapons for a bit of control. Van Cleef can go down, but we need more cheap cards if we really wanted to buff around Van Cleef. Assassin's Blade and the Petitioner's Blade can both get buffed with a Deadly Poison. Assassinate is our removal. Spectral Knight can grab us mid-game control if we get him down, and a Vanish is our last-minute control. So no real shape to this deck so far, bar it's early to mid, and we don't have any huge amount of late. So we need to think about what we do with Van Cleef, need to think about what we do with those weapons, and try and grab minions or spells so that we have control options. So this could swing early game, it could swing mid game. Let's see how we go. Back into the chat and the votes. Not as bad as I were Friday though. Yes, I was going loco Friday. Fair enough. Sap, I see Sap Knives. Sap or fans, Sap Knives. Also Warden Sap. Choose the worst cards. Pigeons OP. I think that's a Sap. That's looking broadly like a Sap vote. By like 1. I think Thrash may have a deciding influence here. I see 1 Sap, 2 Sap. Ooh, 3 Sap. I think that's a Sap. Again, we're going for a Sap. You guys have elected for control. Next, an Abomination, a Mana Addict, or an SI7 Agent. The Abomination, well, kind of been backseated a bit in favour of the Sludge Belcher. For a Taunt and Death Rattle, that 2/2 characters will wipe away aggro like no one's business. A very nice counter. Taunting, he will slow things down. That is pretty much what you can say for him. There are better pure tanks, but that 2 damage can be used to your advantage if you have the right cards. Whenever you cast a spell, gain 2 attack this turn. I don't think the Mana Addict is going to be doing huge amounts. SI7 Agent, lovely rogue card, and it looks as though everyone is feeling in the mood for some Agent. With the great synergy, he is a rogue card, combo of dealing 2 damage, 3/3/3. Haven't seen combo before, says PG. What does it do? PG, combo effect, a very good question. Combo means that if a card has been played already, this effect is active. So if we play one card, just one card of some description before, then we can use that combo effect in rogue. So key, Agent, I see more Agents, I see Agent and Thresh. The Mana Addict is a fun card, says Kiski, it never gets any love. Very true. It can be fun. You want lots of cheap spells, of course. Throw those around, it'll be good fun. Doge's Agent, or just Agent. This is the SIS7 Agent. Shep's Agent is taking some R and R. Hence why I have Shep. That's why we have Shep in the house with us. Dojo 7. Secret Agent Shep. Okay, right, let's see. I think, well, that's an Agent pick. So let's get the picks rolling. Let's get in the groove so we can get 2 or 3 games in. We've got a Backstab, a Spiteful Smith, or Conceal. Backstab, 0 mana, 2 damage to an undamaged minion, will help with Van Cleef, will trigger combos, just so nice in general. Now the Spiteful Smith, let's not rule this out, because even though it's mid-game, Enraging gives the weapon to attack, with the health it's a very solid combo, and also, look at the weapons we have. If we get down an Assassin's Blade with the Spiteful Smith and a Deadly Poison, then if I do quick math, that puts us up to like 8 damage. It's like 32 damage. Conceal, give your minion stealth into your next turn. Goods, used in Miracle Rogues, of course, to protect your gadgets and Auctioneer. iPhone problems. Mobile keyboard problems. Always one that pops up. We have so many weapons, says Kiski. I see where he's coming from, but there is Wisp. I mean Backstab. Those two are easy to confuse, right, Zeno? Wisp stab, or a Backisp. I see Backstab. Nuska going for the Dark Horse choice and Conceal. I do like that. There's use for Conceal. I mean, particularly with some of the minions that we grab or may indeed grab. But I'm thinking that's looking. People are fancying the Von Cleef. Next, we have an Ancient Brewmaster, Storm Wind Champion, and a Sinister Strike. Sinister Strike. Okay, so we have Ancient Brewmaster, bounce a friendly minion from the battlefield to your hand. Nice, we can use. Perhaps with fun things, you can start doing weird agent combos. Save a Von Cleef. Maybe pick up one of our Spectrals. We're quite low on minions at the moment, notice. But then again, rogue decks can be a little bit. So, options with the Brewmaster, 5 attack, 4 health, pretty solid. Storm and Champ, your other minions have 1/1 if we survive, when we survive to turn 7. If we have table control with minions on the table, Storm and Champ helps you win the game for us. Last but not least, Sinister Strike, 1 mana, 3 damage to the enemy hero, will help us trigger various combos. And it is looking like Sinister. I see Brewmaster combo with an agent, says KSKI. Yes, I like that. Brewmaster. I feel like the Brewmaster is like the Shieldmaster. He's a secret troll. Secret Senjin. Okay, Sinisters. I like the thought of Sinister. It's looking like we have a Sinister. Yep, there we go. I think that's a Sinister for combo and general face damage. Next, we have a Sprint, an Argent Squire, or Backstab. Backstab, got 1. Do you want 2? always good. Ardent Squire, that can trade, that can do some stuff. Sprint, now this draws 4 for 7 mana. If you're getting to the stage in the game where you need to draw 4 for 7, you're in trouble, or you've got the table under such control that you can afford to spend pretty much all of your mana in one go to draw those cards and not do anything else. So Sprint, a good late game hero, but to have sprints and use them effectively, we need to be sprinting into other stuff to win us the game, and we'd probably need to be well under control of the table by that point in time. So what are people fancying? I see a backstab, I see another backstab, I see 3 backstab, a little bit of sprint. We're in dire need of card draw, says Thrash. Card draw in a card game is always good, says I. Stating the obvious, 2014. It looks as though a sprint or a backstab, says Thrash. Okay, we'll give you guys a little bit of a thought. I'm going to see how Shepperton's doing. He's having a little nap. I don't know whether I should wake him up. Okay, I think that we are probably looking at... That looks like a backstab. Sprint is bad to sit in your hand early game. I think we have a backstab win there. Next we've got an Earthen Ring Farseer, an Unstable Ghoul, or a Shield Bearer. Not the greatest 3-pick there. The Shield Bearer will wall us in when we do stuff in the early game. It's fair enough. It does what it says on the tin pretty much. Unstable Ghoul, death rattle, 1 damage to all minions. Good against aggro. Will help slow things up. And then last but not least, the Earthen Ring Farseer. Battle Cry restoring 3 health. If we are going to be swinging with some weapons, then we're going to be taking damage from minions, so potentially getting buffed up. Restoring some of our health would be good, and as is always customary on our shows, the in-joke that is totally fair. Hammy needs health. Pick cards that restore his health, or he will lose it in many ways. See, Vizzy makes a very good point that we need minions, and everyone is just going for that health option. Oh, and the Shepperton has left the building. There we go. So we will retire that little window. Maybe he'll rejoin us, if so we can pop it back up. Gone. Dog has gone. Okay, so next up we have a Dalaran Mage, a Wolf Rider, or Betrayal. Lovely stuff. So the Dalaran Mage, spell damage +1, 1 attack, 4 health. We do have spells. Remember, backstab, all of this will benefit from the +1 spell. Otherwise the minion is pretty average, but the 4 health is designed to keep it in the game a little bit longer than Pulse. Wolf Rider, 3 attack, 1 health. You throw it down, it charges, it does damage, does something, and then it just perishes. But it'll be glorious while it lasts. Last but not least, Betrayal. Force an enemy minion to deal the damage to the minions next to it. Betrayal for 2 mana is pretty good. Pretty good. Particularly if they've got giants, big ugly minions out. You can really trash the table by turning their minions on each other. Of course, it doesn't destroy the minion that you're using, but it does destroy, if you use it right and there's big enough stuff, minions either side of it, which is awesome. There are some votes for the wolf. By the Smack Some Fools. I'm not sure whether Smack Some Fools with wolf. Okay, Dalaran, says Thrash, interesting. Doge, no. Oh, it looks like he's coming back. Is he back? Could this be? Could this be? He is. Welcome back. I'll get the camera back in position. Trying to work out. Okay, so Thrash, Wolverhampton. Okay, what have we got? I've got Wolf. We've got Betrayal. Okay, I think that's like a wolf by the looks of things. I see 1 wolf, a couple of wolves, Betrayal, a Dalaran, 3 wolves. Wolf. Ooh, Mage Frostel's another minion. Okay, ooh, Betrayal too. Okay, so is that a sort of a... I think that's narrowly a wolf. Okay, right, narrowly you guys are going for. We've got a Stranglethorn Tiger, a Priestess of Illusion, or a Dire Wolf Alpha. If you wanted wolves, you can have some wolves. So Stranglethorn Tiger, 5/5/5 stealth. It'll go down on the table. We'll do some damage before it gets removed. Priestess of Illusion, restore 4 health to our hero. Could be handy for those of you who like restoring health. There you go. There's your option. Or the Dire Wolf Alpha, giving our adjacent minions 1 attack. Remember, our next review point is next card, so we can have a look at our deck and see how we're going. Okie dokie, I see Direwolf, Alpha, Tiger Illusion. Oh, 2 Illusions, Tiger OP, Direwolf. Right, I can see 3 Alphas. He's going to need that health. Cheers for that vote of confidence. I see Alpha, Wolf. I think a couple of them with a little intervene with Tiger. Yep, it's a Direwolf. You guys have gone for buffing more minions. Lovely stuff. I like it. I love the fact that offensive options weighed out against health. That's my kind of deck. Attack first. Jungle Panther, Bloodfen Raptor. Speculations as to professional Hearthstone players or not. Bluegill Warrior. So the Jungle Panther we've covered. Do you want some of that to jump in with stealth and do some wrecking? The Bloodfen Raptor, 3 attack, 2 health for 2 mana. Such a strong, brilliant basic. You can just do some damage with that. It's good, solid value for mana. And then with the Bluegill Warrior, charge in. Probably the Bluegill. Murlocs. I think the Murloc door is probably being opened. And so the emotes are welcome. Charge for early removal, says Svizzy. I think that is a Murloc vote if I ever saw one, indeed. The Murloc door has been opened. Next we have a Stormwind Champion, an Assassinate, or an Arubar Weblord. Let's review these and then we're going to go for our second deck review point. Stormwind Champ. We passed over one, but do you want to grab it for our minions? Assassinate, we've got 1. Do we really need 2? Don't know. A bit expensive, but your choice, of course, as always. And then the Rhubarb Wedlord. Minions with Battlecry cost 2 more. Now, this can really mess people up, but... May I say but? We have some minions, 1 minion with Battlecry. So it's not too much, but who knows? Okay, review time. Step 1. Review often. Step 2, mana curve and spells against minions. Right, we're looking a bit more early game here, but still that concentration, so it's kind of early mid at the mo, but more cards in early. Spells against minions, it's, well, we can count the minions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 minions against 10 spells and weapons, so a little bit more balanced. And then step 3, the turn by turn playthrough. Backstabs can land at any point. The deadly poison will go with a weapon. Sinister Strike can hit hopefully after our Van Cleef or with combo cards in hand. With Sap we can control, with Shiv we can control and draw. Then we get into Bluegill Alpha. Perdition's Blade can help control the table. The other one restores health at any point in the game. Van Cleef we drop and hopefully throw these cheap cards down afterwards. With the SI7 Agent for combos, Wolf Rider for charging, Assassin's Blade for some mid-late game control, particularly, and hitting to face, particularly if combo with Deadly Poison. We also have Assassinate for control, Spectral Knight for table control, and then Vanish. So I think that the sort of general view of that, we've got quite a bit of control right now, and we've got more spells and more weapons than we do minions, so we're quite light on minions at the moment. How are we going to play? Well, in the early game at the moment we've got a lot of control and a couple of attacking mini options, but not many. When we get into the early mid game, 3 to 5 mana stage, got a lot of good weapons and minions hitting the table that we can use, and then some control in mid game with Assassinate and Vanish. So at the moment we're minion light. Our deck could still go either way in the last 13 cards. So what we need to think is, are we trying to get minions on the table to control the early game, or are we going to go the other way and throw loads and loads of spells in the early to mid game and make sure we keep control of the table that way, so that then maybe we can drop some big late game minions? So I'd probably think which of those two ways you want to go. Do you want to be keeping the control really locked down in the early game just with loads of rogue spells, and then perhaps getting late game victory options? Could be our weapons with more deadly poisons, could be some bigger minions that we charge with in the late game, or are you going to pack out the deck? Maybe we've got a reasonable amount of control. Are you feeling like we need to get a bunch more early to mid game minions in just to sort of put it all together? Right, back to this 3-pick. I see that's looking like okay. Assassinate, 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 Weblord. Spider is bad, Stormwind is bad in our deck. Oh, okay. Okay, assassinated is. We have a Fen Creeper, a Boulder Fist, Ogre, or a Reckless Rocketeer. Lovely stuff. Fen Creeper, 3 attack, 6 health, good, solid, tanky taunt. 5 mana, anchors the mid game, not much more to say. With the Boulder Fist Ogre, 6/6/7, that will take a few blows, certainly. Will help us trade stuff off the table. Oh, where's the dog gone? Okie dokie. 6/6/7 will mean that we can trade a few minions off the table before we disappear. And then last but not least, the Reckless Rocketeer, charge, 5 attack, 2 health, charging in, doing the damage, probably then getting wrecked. Despicable. Despicable. Okay, so what are we going for? I can see a bit of Ogre. It's all Ogre now. Dog, please. Dog has been restored. It is looking, that's feeling like an Ogre. I see, ooh, now hang on a second, that's 3 Ogres to 2 Rocketeers, I'm thinking. Do we have a vote for the Ogre? And I love it, the token creeper vote. Right, so, okay, that is definitely an Ogre now. So next we have an Ancient Watcher, a Murloc Tidecaller, or a Mind Control Tech. Okay, the Ancient Watcher, great if we can tank it or silence it. At the moment we have neither. We can't tank it, we can't silence it, so it will sit there and do nothing, meaning that it's an inevitable pick. The Murloc Tidecaller, whenever a Murloc is summoned, gain 1. Well, we've got 1 Murloc. Are you pushing Murlocs through the open Murloc door that you've already opened? It's up to you. Last but not least, the Mind Control Tech. Battle Cry, if your opponent has 4 or more minions, take control of 1 at random. That can actually be quite nice in Arena. Reason being, people throw down a lot of minions in Arena, and it can do some quite awesome things. I see MCT. Murloc Tidecaller would of course be MTC, not MCT. That was almost a big mistake by me there. I'm loving the Mind Control Tech vote. Next we have a Lord of the Arena, an Unstable Ghoul, or a Fan of Knives. The Lord of the Arena for a taunt 6/5. It's not the greatest tank in the world, but it will certainly early mid game stabilise things and help us do some damage. But remember, are we going for spell control, late game minions, or padding out early to mid game minions? Unstable Ghoul, we've already explained. Do you want to grab one for the early game? Fan of Knives, 1 to all enemy minions and draw a card. Unstable Gruul, I could have well said Unstable Gruul. That sounds like a Gruul that explodes. Niska, I think that sounds like a brilliant World of Warcraft minion or a Hearthstone card. They should get on that. They should make that happen. Fans, says Sivizzy, since we didn't take it last time, and card draw. It's a good argument. I can see a couple of Lords. I can see Knives. Knives is winning through. Knives Chow. This is Scott Pilgrim. Okay, so next we have a Sap, Corehound, or Fan of Knives. And emote surfacing that I've not even seen before. What is this? What is this? Okay, with Sap we got 1, do you want 2? Corehound we've already seen. Are you fancying some late game Corehound wrecking? And also the Fan of Knives as well. So I'm just a fan of you. You're not a fan of Knives, you're a fan. Oh, that's just too kind and very much undeserved. Yes. It's okay. Sounds like a ninja sap, at the risk of sounding... I like the sap hammer there from Nooska. Or is that Fly Swatter? It's looking like sap, 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 sap. Everyone loves a bit of sap. We've got lovely control. Next we have a Scarlet Crusader, a Cold Blood, or a Defious Ringleader. Right then, so with the Scarlet Crusader, Divine Shield 3-1, we can trade away with that. Cold Blood, give a minion 2 attack, but with the combo we can top up and do 4. And then finally the Defious Ringleader, combo of summoning the 2-1 Defious Bandit. So, Cold Blood could be very nice and help us really create some trashing, wrecking minions. Could be very nice indeed. Defious Summon just goes oh so well with our deck in general. A very nice strong rogue card. The ability to throw down stuff before that and then just summon the additional bandit is great to help you grab some early game control and table position with all of them cards. Very nice indeed. And then last but not least, we could Crusader. That will do us some nice trades. What are we going for? We got Defious, Coin, Defious, yes, no one. Warm-blooded Doge. Bandito, Cold Blood, go for blood. Defious, blood. Okay, we'll see what's going on. Split opinions. What is on the telly box this evening? Where is the... oh, come on. Where is the TV dials? What is going on? How can I work out what's on TV under these conditions? Cold Blood with the bluegill. CVZ making a passionate case for Defious, but with diplomacy, with democracy, we've gone for Cold Blood. A Murloc Tidehunter or Wisp. Right, I know what everyone's going to vote for, so while you I don't know if there's any point me even analysing those cards, so while you're pondering what's going on there, I'm just going to finish up sorting out, see what's on TV. Okie dokie. Do we need to even discuss this one? Thrash. Thrash points out, ironically, Wisp is actually a good card for this deck because of its free cost. It triggers combos. So yeah, it's not actually the worst in the world. Wisper's Cold Blood. It's a very fair point. CVZ. Right, well the Booty Bay Bodyguard would have been a very average 5-mana taunt. The Murloc Tidehunter would have gone well with our other Murlocs, and the Battle Cries are 2 for 1. I'm just going to pick Wisp, and let's move on and never mention this again. Next we have a Sprint, a Young Dragon Hawk, or an Anubar Ambusher. So Anubar Ambusher is the rogue class card out of next. Let's go there first. Return a random for any minion to your hand. It's quite a nice death rattle when it goes down. I picked Wisp. The Young Dragon Hawk, another stream favourite. Star, of course, of the Easy Legend deck. That is probably not easy again to make Legend, I'm just saying. Or the Sprint, which we've already seen. Do we want to go for that late game card draw for some finishing? And having picked so well so far, so sensibly, in the last 6 cards, we are going for Anarchy in the UK. The Nubar getting some votes there. A pretty solid minion for the 4 mana, 5 attack, 5 health. So what are you fancying? I see Easy Legends is best deck, you all just haters, or like a Nubar. Okie dokie. Right, what do we have? We have it's looking like Dragonhawks, and then Ambusher. This deck is crazy, says Kiss. Yes, I see what you're doing. I see a couple of Sprints, a couple of Dragonhawks, and a couple of Ambushes. Right, so that means I think I get choice. I'm gonna go for the Ambusher because I want something of that 4 mana. I just want a bit more solidifying in the early game. Next, Mad Bomber, Defious Ringleader, Murloc Tidehunter, we've covered all of those apart from the Mad Bomber. Mad Bomber needs no introduction. We always want the Bomber Dreamer, 3 damage straight to the enemy hero's face. Does it happen half the time? No. Do we wish that it goes? Yes. Wisp 2 weeks in a row. What a time to be alive. So, Defius, an amazing case, of course, made for Defius already by Svizzy. The Tide Hunter would be strong and give us attack in the early game. The Bomber will just be a bomber and we will enjoy it if we play it. I think that's the best thing to say about it. Bomber Dream or Murloc Madness? So, Bomber, Defius, please. Okay, I think that we're going with a Defius here. I think we may be swinging away. Bomberzano, don't betray us. Bomber votes, I see. Do you know what? Let's dream big. I'm going with Defius. We've overturned one, and I have a deciding on that one, so I'm going for a Defius. An Archmage, a Voodoo Doctor, a Dragonling Mechanic. The Archmage, spell damage of 1 will benefit us. The 4 attack 7 health will certainly help us trash a few things away. Voodoo Doctor restores health, adds life. I'm sure that will be, yep, the health, already the votes for health are swarming on in. It's kind of the equivalent of like Live Aid for this stream. Give cards, give Hammy some health this Christmas. And finally, Dragonling Mechanic. Battlecraft summoning a 2-1 Dragonling. Well, 2 for 1. I'm gonna put some pressure on. Voodoo, health. Need a 4-drop. Democracy, well, it was 3-3. I believe that the vote was tied. People showing consternation. I see 1 bomber. I see 2 bombers. I see 3 bombers. Yeah, there was 3 bombers. 3 bombers. Okay. So, right, I see 2 dragons. I'm guessing that Keski saying we need a 4-drop is potentially voting for the Dragonling Mechanic. That's 3 Dragonlings against 2 healths. 3 healths. 3 healths against, is that 3 dragons? Yeah, 3 dragons and 3 healths. Totally split down the middle. What is that going to be? I think. Right, I again get a choice. Let's have a feel. I should riot against things. Oh, okay, right. Well, because we went with the dragging, I use Windows 8, unfollowing immediately. Where's my Windows 8 UI? Where's that showing up? How do you know I use Windows 8? I do. I do have Windows 7 on a different partition. Unfollow, block and report. Strong views on operating systems. That's a debate for another day. Okay, right. So because I'm gonna go for the health, so that we're even. Next we have a Defius, a Stormwind Champ, or a Venture Co Mercenary. Right, Defius, we've got 1. Do you want 2? Would be ridiculously strong. Stormwind we do not have. Do you really want the late game finish? Up to you. Or the Venture Co Merc, 3 more for the minions, but for 7 attack and 6 health, we could really be trashing and causing some pain in that mid game. And already a small revolution, angered by the choice of Defius over Mad Bomber, already already voting against Defius. Anything but the Defius. It's the Mad Bomber Liberation Front. It's like the People's Front of Judea in Monty Python and the Holy Grail. And hello, Alex Lan 95. Welcome to you. Let's go for the Venture. I refuse to vote on protest, Defius or riot. Not sure how I feel about this. Stormwind, since we have more minions now. There's a majority for the Venture Co Merc and the Mo in chat, so it looks as though we're going Venture Co Mercenary. And of course an abstention by Zano at protest of no Mad Bomber. Democracy is a tough thing. Oh dear. Oh yeah. Hey, you're coming to the chat for the first time and you're voting for what the right cards are, and you're wondering why the votes are going other ways. Well, it's just the democracy. Okay. Trying to prop up the defiest quotient. So let's have a look. I think that is a everyday's lol card, right? So there's two ventures. There's a defiest. Kiski's thinking. I'm thinking big mana minions. Yeah, I think that the vote is definitely with venture. Venture. I think that's a venture. Venture. Yeah, just the two ventures, but that's actually taken it. Okay, venture it is. Almost there. Next we have a sprint, a backstab, or silver hand knight. Sprint of drawing 4 cards, backstab, we've got 2 do you want 3, the silver hand knight, a lovely, solid 2 for 1, and quality wrecking in the big mid game. But backstab's coming out. Backstab, of course, we've got loads of combos and tricksiness that we can trigger. Backstab, Stormwind or backstab. Looks like backstab is leading out of the game. What do we want? Bomber. When do we want it? Well, it doesn't matter now. Heart's broken. Disappointment that Mad Bomber was not picked. That in my foolishness, I did not go for a Mad Bomber. So what be you fancying? It looks like a backstab. I think that's a backstab. Backstab it is, so we can get our games a-rolling. Next an Arcane Golem, Mana Wraith, or a Sunfury Protector. We've covered 2 of those, the Mana Wraith and the Arcane Golem. Finally, the Sunfury Protector, Battlecraft giving adjacent minions taunt. What have we got there? We could make some taunts. It could slow our opponent down. All in all, not the worst card. We've got some chunky minions there that could benefit from it. Sunfury votes coming in as we get into our last card pick or 2. People suddenly thinking, oh, right, let's do this. I hereby give my votes to Thrash as I refuse. Use them well. Okay. Zano has delegated his vote, so Thrash's vote counts for 2. Okay, right, and that looks like a Sunfury coming through. There is a 3 to 2 to 3 Golem or Wraith. Kiski not going for the Sunfury. Golem, 3 Sunfury, 3 Golem. I'm confused. People are fancying a Golem. Right. In what is looking like a split, I'm going to grab the Sunfury and we're good. Right, let's do a final quick review. We are early to mid game, we're controlling in the early game, we need to be getting damage on minions on the table in the early to mid game, and then we have to finish this mid game. We don't have a late game. How do we play? Well, we've got let's just quickly tot up our minions. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's looking a bit more solid now. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16. Not too bad. How do we play? Well, in the early game we've got a lot of spell control. We're throwing down spells to get control and hopefully triggering combos to get board advantage so that the few minions that we do have will stick on the table and we can transition into the early to mid game. Got some attacking options, we've got charges, attack buffs, we also have health heals, a couple of weapons that we can use either for minion control or heading to the face, and some minions that will actually grab tempo in the mind control tech and similar. The SI7 agent will combo up, that's nice. So, in the mid game we've got a lot of solid minions we can throw down and attack with, but we need to be ending the game really with Spectre Knight, Venture Co-Master and Balder Fist Ogre. Those are our finishing minions unless we've got a control. So, I can't screenshot that whole deck, so you know what, we're just going to jump in. Oh, and hello to Legion Hogger. Coming back, and Legion Hogger voting for Hammer of Wrath even though we're not a paladin, for that time that I accidentally mispicked when we should have picked Legion Hogger's Hammer of Wrath, and alas, he holds that card dear to him. is dear in his heart. Right, we're playing a priest as our first game. Got weapons in hand, the Anubar as well. We are going second, so we could leverage that out. I'm going to keep the Anubar actually. I'm going to trade one away, and hey, we get a Deafus, so that's a really nice start. We can coin on top of a Deafus into a Sinister, all kinds of things. Okay, so turn one, I could just Sinister, but if I coin next turn and I can Sinister into a Deafus, that will be a nice start, so let's go for that. I could even backstabbed into a, well, I don't need to backstab into a Deafus. Oh, down goes a Pyromancer, but here's where our fun comes. It's fun time. The backstab. In comes the backstab, in comes the Deafus, and oh, if we'd only had another Deafus, see Vizzy's support for Deafus coming through very, very nicely. So, there we go, the Deafus coming out very, very nicely. So, we're all good there. We've got table control, a couple of minions. What is this priest going to do? Okay, so we've got one of those on the table, and that of course is nasty. That will be training to us and drawing cards. We cannot remove it. I could just rush Two-Face. I could throw down an Anubar Ambusher, coin that out, and then I can wipe that out in one go next turn. Feels like a nice play. Tad on the hyper-aggressive side, but hey, I don't mind a bit of hyper-aggression, and let's start attacking and doing the damage. Bring in the Wrecking Train. So he could charge that into one, but if he charges it into anything, if he charges it into 2 damage, he'll get 2 card draw out of it. And there we go, he's gone for the card draw option, and also remove one of my attacking minions, so does his business there nicely. Down goes an All-Shot, which I want to remove. Probably the heal then coming in, sensible play. Down goes a Voodoo as well, healing his health up. A nice piece of control on the table. Now, Mind Control Tech would actually let me grab one of those. I can Van Cleef, I can Sinister. Getting 2/2 for each card played early this turn. So brilliant if I've played loads of cards and then Van Cleef. However, I cannot play loads of cards and then Van Cleef. Now, I want to, ideally, in an ideal world, remove both of them, which I can do. I'm actually going to weapon up. I'm going to drop that as well. We'll drop the Murloc, meaning that we can then pop that off the table. If there's nothing to heal, then, well, he can attack himself and not die and then draw. I can burn a Murloc and similar. Okay, I'm going to just go for a very hard control. Not feeling overtly joyful about this in terms of losing a few cards, but I've still got the Ringleader on the table. If he did take out the Ambusher and the Ringleader was on the table, I could get that back then. Taz Dingo, nasty. And I have no control with a Powered Shield. Draw a card and buff up to a nice one. Way to turn Mind Control, Nick as Acolyte, maximum BM. That would be nasty indeed. I can't quite remove that from the table. So I could just assassinate it, which I think is fine. We'll just wreck that off the table and start swinging. So we can play into a 6/6 Van Cleef here. More free cards would have been great. An Unstable Ghoul is certainly going to start up a bit longer, and remember that 1 damage to all minions will get rid of our Deafus Ringleader as well. Oh, but very nice. We've drawn into a handy Assassin's Blade. Death Out will return a minion to hand. Only if I can destroy it. Right, got to work on play order here. I can... May have been a misplay. I'm trying to ponder whether I've done the right thing there. I'm going to have to trade this away now. I was thinking of the Assassin's Blade. Down goes a nuke. Now I can attack Two-Face or I can trade, which is the option. That will bounce that to my hand. A Van Cleef could give us options. The Mind Control Tech I'm going to keep in hand. He could well, with a priest, somehow trade that off the table next go. I'm just going to take the Yeti. It's going to bounce this to hand anyway. There we go. Alright. Sinister Strike into an Edward. Yeah. Was that... should I have just faced? Potentially. And got the Edward down for additional face. He's got the pain. He's then got those two. Assassin's Blade. I've got a Wolf Rider for a charge. I can remove one of those, but not boost. Right. Well, the Blade will let me remove one.
So many options.
The light shall burn you.
I can. Oh, misplay. I meant to play Van Cleef. Oh dear. We've already opened that particular door. I'm just going to viciously attack for face. Right, I meant to drop my Van Cleef. And Van Cleef down would have potentially given us lethal next turn too. We've still got the Assassin's Blade. In comes the Holy Nova. Up come the heals. In come the trades. And he has a Dark Cultist as well. If he starts throwing down a tanking option, then we're in some trouble. Ooh, horrific misplay. Potentially costs game. Let's see if I almost played that thinking I could play a Van Cleef after, which is wrong. To force him to engage this. Okay, nasty play. If we've lost this game, then the reason is because Van Cleef would have made the difference. There goes a Holy Fire. Alright. Trade comes in. Buffs the other minion for the +3. Mind Blast for 5. I've only got the 1/1, but I do have a Van Cleef too. So it's going to be a question of who wrecks through for the victory. Right. I've got a Perdition's Battlefly. Cry deals 1 instead it deals 2. There's not much I can really do bar Assassins into a Van Cleef. Drop a 4/4 on the table, see if he goes for the trade. If I can get a Deadly Poison on that, it's almost enough to win, but he can heal, so this might just be done. Welcome, Tim. For those of you just joining, we are enjoying a little bit of Pick Your Own Arena. You guys have picked quite a sharp rogue deck, I think. However, due to a nasty misfail play, we are on the verge of pain. I'm not going to Perditions, I'm just going to keep swinging away. With this, he will keep healing, we will keep attacking. Can we get a charging minion? Can we get a tank? Look at that, Tim 1500's got his own hype train going down. Oh, Wombo combos come in, changing the minion's attack to equal to itself. We've got a Wombo comboed Sylvan Knight coming in to cause us wrecked pain. And there we go. Oh, a Cold Blood. How enjoyable that might have been. Righty-ho, let us get our final game in. So we'll throw down a well played. That was close. That wasn't necessarily a loss. I think that just me being stupid and throwing down the wrong card with a little bit of a quick click. Could have been the attack. That may have made the difference. It would have been an additional big presence on the table. So don't be like me and click so fast. Okay. Okay, a worthy opponent, as always. And we have Warrior. Let's see what we can do. Shiv, Cold Blood, Perditions. Okay, we've got a Shiv, we've got a Cold Blood. A Perdition Petition's Blade against the Warrior. I can toss back the Cold Blood. I don't mind the Petitions. I'll keep the Shiv for some control. Fan of Knives, well, even though we're going first, we've still got a plenty control option there. Sap. Nothing I can do there. Tap on the table. Brain saying, play something. Okay, right, I'm not going to Shiv for the 1 card draw at this point. I'm just going to attack 6 Mind Blasts. Okay, just armouring up. Warriors do not warriors do. That's fine, it gives us time to plot our revenge. Well, I don't really want to be throwing down our positions either, so in this situation we're just going to just keep chipping. If I have to wait until I can play Adventure Code, then so be it. Raid Leader goes down. That's kind of a play of desperation. Well, not desperation necessarily. I think it's fair enough to say we can just throw down a Backstab. I could Petition into some addition damage, but really, I'm just going to keep throwing my dagger. Summoning a new dagger. And really seeing what this... Okay, we've got the Silver Hand combo there. So I can backstab into Adventure Co. I do have a Shiv. I could just sap as well, just to be like rather awkward. So a Petitions, I could even backstab into a Petitions as well. That could be rather nasty. Oh, Fan of Knives and a Shiv. That'd be a very excessive removal of those. The Adventure Co will probably get traded, so I'm just working out a good play. Well, the backstab feels like a nice easy control.
Here we go.
There we go. So for the 4 conceded health, I managed to get rid of that, clear the table, get my Petition's Blade, draw a card. That was working a little bit. Oh, a Mukla. I've got a sap, but then he can give me more bananas and I'm going to start burning cards. It's not really what I wanted, but what is. So sapping that Mukla is not going to be the way forward, because he will just throw it down again. For great justice, I want to clear my hand a bit, so for those reasons I'm going to be buffing up that with my bananas. Let's just tap some off the table. The Doge is a bit hot, he's now sleeping on the floor, so let's wrap that up. Okay, in comes a Slam, 2 draw a card. We should expect an execute from the Warrior. No, a Divine Shield on the Guardian, makes an 8/5, takes a straight trade to take it off the table. I can't quite remove that. Feels just like a Boulder Fist Ogre. He's a strong play in general. Drop the bananas, and we can... A Fan of Knives will remove that bubble anyway next turn, so I'm just going to tap to the face for 2. Okay, 6, 7, lovely. We have, however, sadly been Hulk stomped out the way with an execute, but we also have Assassinate. We can box toe to toe, no problem. An Assassinate on the Ogre seems like the natural way forward. I don't need my heal just yet, but let's keep it in hand. I'm sure it'll be handy. Fan of Knives. Actually, you know what? Well, why not get the heal down, because we can encourage the total trade away. 2/2 trade there. Cleansing the Sunwell 4/4 actually keeping that alive, but I've got a fan of knives, which is cool. I'm making some weapons to remove that. A wolf ride also gives additional options for bubble removal, but if I do this, then this, then this, and this, also this. Mega removal. Mega removes. Unstable ghoul down, armor up. Just walling and walling, I'm walling and walling. Rolling and rolling like Limp Bizkit. Right, the Enuma Ambusher is finally here. Well, the backstab of 2/1 damage will let us do the removal. I'm gonna go for that. Kinda happy with that. We can take the 1 as well. On those tall minions, but there are no minions. There are no minions for you to damage. I'm not going to waste the cold blood. I was very tempted to for a second there, but there's a reasonable chance I'll just try and trash that ambusher anyway. So, and we can see him going straight for the ambusher. There we go. Taking the 6 damage on the removal. Still 8 mana as well. Up comes the direwolf. Down goes the Sunwalker. Would have been better to fan versus KSKI. Yeah, it probably would actually. Get the card draw and then work out what to do afterwards. Okay. Right. Do I sap knowing full well that he's just going to throw it down again anyway? It's a $2 billion question. So the reason I've done that is that the cold blood after a sap or similar next turn will give me the option. If he doesn't trade one of those, well, he has to trade this away unless he uses his wep. He can in fact trade both away. Ooh, okay, that's a little bit hairy. I was thinking I'd have enough on the table left to cold blood to remove the Suntree Protector. Down goes the Stormwind Champ, which I'm probably now going to have to sap, and with the Blood Cell Raider gaining attack, suddenly our opponent is in control, and we could kind of do with something, anything, anything to help us. Going for the down buff. Three to the face, 5 to the face, and what seemed like a game of control is now rapidly flying the other way in fits of pain. And it is all doom. A doom, lad, a doom. We can certainly drop into our combo, but there is lethal on the table. We are not going to win. So we shall well played. Ooh, and a 0-2 dream there. Okay. So thank you so much for tuning in to tonight's Hearthstone, more than an hour on this occasion. What did we do? We drafted a rogue deck that was quite fun. It had options. It's kind of a weird mix in that it's kind of control with spells in the early to mid game, trying to win in the mid to late game, or the mid game really, with a bunch of chunky minions. Problem being we just didn't feel as though we quite had control of the game in the early game, even though some of the cards we picked, we could have had 3 Defius Ringleaders, for example. That might have made us stronger, but at the end of the day it's all about fun. What would a game be if we didn't have a Wisp? And we never managed to play Wisp either, so who knows, maybe we can, in that last game, at least get Wisp out. So thank you for tuning in. I need to dash off rather sharpish now. Do come and join us. If you're watching live on Twitch, come join us. You can see the archive on YouTube. That's youtube.com/FailCraft Casts. Over 100 episodes, deck guides, more Arena Tuesdays like this. Go check it out. Heroes of the Storm, other games too. If you're on YouTube, twitch.tv/FailCraftCast, throw us a follow. It'd be great to see you. We're live Monday through Friday. Try to be. Times in the bottom left. We'll always tweet on that FailCraftCast when we're going to go live. Last but not least, website failcraft.org. There you can find articles, all of our videos, and things that do not live quite so well in a video. So links to deck lists and similar. Thanks so much for tuning in. Hopefully see you tomorrow, and we'll tweet when we're next live. Great to see you all as always, and take it easy.